know that nobody else is going to do it for us, right? We know that nothing that's happening in the convention center downtown this week is going to lead a climate revolution for us, the kind of revolution we need. We know that the big green groups who take up so much space in Washington, D.C., like the League of Conservation Voters and the NRDC, are not going to lead that revolution for us. We know that's going to have to come from the ground up, from all of us fighting in all of our communities and standing together against the fossil fuel industry. And we have a huge task in front of us right now. We have a massive amount of work that needs to be done to keep fossil fuels in the ground and to protect our most vulnerable and marginalized communities from the impacts of climate change that are already being felt. We don't have time to waste our efforts in the climate movement on a presidential campaign where there are no climate champions on the ballot. We can leave that work to the neoliberals that stood in the way of Bernie Sanders' campaign. We can leave that work to the staffers that will be hired by Goldman Sachs money. Of course, on that one day in November, we'll have to show up and vote against fascism. But there's a lot of days between now and then, and a lot of work that we need to be doing. That work needs to be, first and foremost, building up grassroots movement power so that we can take down the fossil fuel industry, despite the fact that both parties in our government are in bed with the oil and gas industry. We need a movement so powerful that we can beat the richest and most powerful industries in the world that are in collusion with our own government. Second, we need to be supporting the congressional candidates, the state candidates, and the local candidates that are climate champions, that are going to stand up for our values. All those people around the country who have seen the success of Bernie Sanders' campaign and now realize that progressives, people with our values, actually can get elected. And they stood up and they're running. We need to be supporting them. And we need to be building up third-party institutions. We need to be building up the third parties so that 4 years from now, we're not facing this same choice between neoliberalism and outright fascism. We can't underestimate our task. We know what we're facing with our political leaders, and we know what we're facing with the reality of climate change that's already being felt in heat waves and natural disasters and rising sea levels. We can't underestimate that task. We know that we're not fighting climate change in 2009 or 1992 or any of those years when we could pretend that maybe things would be okay. We know that this is now the kind of challenge where there are going to be hardships no matter what we do. That means that we need to hold on to one another. That means that our job is not just about reducing emissions anymore. Our job is about making sure that whatever desperate leaders are trying to hold on to their power can't pit us against one another. It means making sure that those leaders can't scapegoat certain parts of our community and that we will never sell each other out. It means making sure that those hardships that we face will be hardships that turn us towards one another with love and cooperation instead of turning against one another with fear and greed and violence. That's a huge challenge. It's not just an energy revolution or a policy revolution. That's a social revolution at its roots. We know how big that challenge is. We can't underestimate that, but we can't underestimate our own power either. We can't underestimate the power of people standing together and holding on to one another. That's what we're doing here today. That's what we're going to keep doing no matter what happens in this election. Hold on to somebody around you right now. Hold on to somebody. Hold on to somebody and let them know that you're going to hold on to them, that you're going to hold on to your values, that you're going to hold on to your future. And we are going to hold on to the power that we are building here. We are never going to let it go. Thank you for being a part of that kind of movement.
Ladies and gentlemen, Team DeChristopher. Come on, everybody, come on. Are you feeling it in your hearts? Are we going to change the world? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the grassroots coordinator for Gasland. Anyone seen Gasland? Anyone seen the movie Gasland? This is the grassroots coordinator for How to Let Go, Love All the Things Climate Can't Change. Raise your hand if you've seen the movie. Okay, now raise your hand if you're willing to take that back to your community. Because the fight doesn't happen here, it happens in every